pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Ron, you're up.
Okay. So I was going to talk about the doors, the entrance doors.
Yeah, I told Roy a little bit about what happened, triggered something last week after the sheriff deputy left last week. The resident got locked in the courthouse to get out. They didn't realize that down by Mitch's office, you could get out that way.
Right.
Mitch, I did tell them they left with a parting shot. They weren't very nice, a little abrupt, weren't they? So I guess you guys, the concern is fire safety for one thing, running about one door. So Ron and Terry have been working on trying to put push bars, is that?
Yeah, kind of like what's on the door.
Okay, so
The push
where
bar.
are you thinking about putting them at, Ron?
Well, and that's the thing. We talked to Tim Thayer, and he said every door, if they're going to be locked, every door has to have a push bar on it.
I see.
Right now, they're all unlocked.
Okay.
But
They're posted not to enter
they are.
for the,
And it appears to everybody that they are closed and you cannot come in, and nobody did yesterday anyway, but
So we've been in violation of the fire code.
if they were locked, we would have been in violation. Right now, we're not.
Okay.
So, I didn't know if you guys just wanted to keep it that way.
Well, how much?
I got a quote
How much?
for a push bar, but he said we can't just get by with one on each entrance, every door would have to have one.
How many doors are we talking about?
Nine.
Well, and again, we would have a bid process if we decide to do.
And this is just a quote,
Yeah.
but that's, I'm sure that's pretty much standard for, but if this is working, how necessary is it? And are we gonna be doing this for just a short time, or is it a long?
well,
long-term
when this
plan?
all started, having the courthouse closed was unprecedented, so,
Right,
you know, we're making changes. I think it's something we probably have to do. We don't,
But maybe we don't have to do this at the moment if they're not coming in the doors,
Yeah.
right?
it's not, it hasn't been an issue yet.
Well, you know, we talked about this a little bit, Terry and I, you guys have to adapt, adjust, you know, make it work, and I think that's what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Now, I would think if they start coming in those doors, we probably need to look at this.
That's kinda what
What do
I'm
you think?
thinking.
That's your recommendation is to?
I'd just wait and see, but that's just my opinion, but
Bill,
Yes.
one of the things that come up at one point, that 4-H, when they have their meetings down here, and they lock the doors so the public's not coming in and out, you know, we told them about the one down the hall, but that had came up at that point too, so I don't know whether it's,
Roy, thoughts? We'll hear what the fire chief says. You gotta leave them unlocked.
right,
Unlock.
that or put a push bar.
$250 roughly. Which figure you keep?
I think we probably ought to get bids and just see what it is.
Okay,
Now, give us some time to think about it. We know probably the rough idea on what it would be for all the doors.
okay, alright, I'll get some
We
bids.
got 4 here.
4, 3, and then 2.
2.
So our total is the sum of these.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and if they do have to cut the doors, it could be another extra 130, so
And how many
Could be.
doors did you say?
9.
9 doors.
It could be up to almost $400 a piece.
Cut a hole in the door for key. If we had cut a hole in the door.
Yeah, if that doesn't match up with the push bar or something like that, but he said that usually they do, but he wouldn't know.
So get proposals.
Okay, sounds good.
What else you got? Anything else? Everything else working?
Yep.
I saw the barriers you had up the other day. It made it look
Uh-huh.
good courthouse, and I thought it looked good.
Uh-huh,
Any other problems have come up? One other issue someone mentioned, and it has to do with the parking. We're moving everybody to the north, and then the suggestion was made that maybe we need to encourage anyone that works in the courthouse, that means courthouse people work to not park in this north lot, and to give room to the people that are, you know, we tried to do that on this side, was to leave those spots open, employees not park there. So the suggestion was made, maybe we need to make sure that we leave this as clear as we can. Is that?
On
in the
Jackson
lots or on
Street.
the street?
on Jackson Street,
What?
Are you saying in the lot or on
No,
the
on
Jackson
the
Street?
on the
Okay,
street, Jackson
okay,
Street, yeah.
on Jackson
That
Street,
we-
okay.
you know, it was pretty clear when I pulled in there and parked this morning, but once you start getting into the courthouse, I mean, they start coming in to pay the tag and stuff, people can wanna park there, so it's closer.
How many did you have waiting outside yesterday at the most?
I would say two to six.
Oh, not
I don't
10,
think
not not 20 people?
Oh, no.
Okay, okay,
No, we were never above six.
okay, that's great.
Well, we were just thinking about the people having a little walk all the way
Yeah.
over there, we're trying to get them up here a little bit closer.
I agree.
So is that something we should
The parking,
suggest, yeah, the parking, that we.
I think the suggestion is
That
really
we. Say it, go, what?
I was just gonna say, I think that you ought to draft a letter and take it around, because not all, departments or employees just take a word. I think they
You know,
annex it
if we-
in writing.
If we had 10 customers inside, we got 5 to 10 waiting out, that's only 20 people. We're not seeing a mad rush, I guess.
No, and, that's
Which is
good.
good.
well, yeah, we can ask our employees, I think, to be courteous and try to park on the west side if their mobility allows for it, and then the customers could park there in Jackson.
But not
on the
just
north
in,
side of the.
there's people that are in the courthouse that aren't just county employees, these two offices down here aren't just county employees, that one isn't. So
And court.
whoever works in the courthouse, we need to encourage them to park, not park on the north side of the street. But you don't think to encourage them or,
I think a letter's gonna have to be drafted personally.
Do you recall the parking letter that we did a couple years ago?
I'll look and see if I
Okay.
can find it.
If you could send that to us, that might give us an idea on how we wanna proceed. We
Now,
have
we talking from the parking lot to the west corner,
that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
not in front of the sheriff's department. Okay, okay.
Well, if,
So you're thinking, Bill, kinda like we've got customer
Yeah.
parking here on the
Right.
west side, which really doesn't
from-
apply
From this
anymore.
driveway back to the.
Because customers are gonna be on the north side, so we hope that,
You know,
Some of the
just an effort,
Parking
if
that
Sherry
way
can
is
come up with
closer
that
than their
letter,
parking here, too.
why don't we go ahead and give approval to sign off on, one of us can sign off on it, go ahead and get it distributed, would that work?
Yeah, if the letter is required, fine.
Come up
Yeah, we
with
can
something,
ask
Sherry,
her.
I'll do that.
Unless you wanna go around and visit with them, I don't think it coming from me, it's all.
I'll take the
public.
letter right to them,
Understand that.
Okay.
is that what you're talking about? I'll take it to them.
And on the traffic flow, Cricket was busy and wasn't gonna come down this morning, but she said that they just had a really good day yesterday. Everybody was, like Roy said, you know, courteous and respectful about their waiting. They used the opportunity to visit and catch up, I guess. But they were steady right through the day, so we got 5 days of.
Would you kinda limit
Busy.
people to 10 people or so coming in the courthouse? I guess here's my next question. Was that a little tight? Should we loosen that a little bit, or was it working okay, you guys think? Terry, was you guys watching? Ron? Comments, suggestions?
I just had a couple of customers call and wanted to bring stuff in, and I told them, I said, you probably won't be able to get in the courthouse, just park on the square and I'll come and get it from you, and.
But
Yeah.
that's the same thing, you probably didn't have anybody in your office though, did you? But the 10 people was mainly down in the treasurer's office.
Yeah, pretty
So I guess
well
that's
all
my
was
my
full.
thought, 10 people with treasurer's office, but then that means nobody can go to the appraiser's office, or nobody can go to the clerk's office. Should we loosen that a little bit, or Bob, thoughts?
I was over here twice and I thought it worked well, you know.
Could we loosen it a little bit, or leave it the way it is?
You wanna give it a week? I
Well,
mean,
give it another
we just
week.
started yesterday,
I
maybe.
guess yesterday was probably gonna be
yeah.
one of your busier, you know, I
Try
mean,
another week and see what happens. Okay, kind of keep your eyes open, give us some recommendations.
Bill, personally, I mean, I was down at the front door from 7:15 till 12, and then back again. I mean, I was down there probably 6 hours yesterday, and it went very well. It really did.
What do you,
People were very respectful
what do you think was the longest wait somebody might have had?
to get inside,
Yeah, waiting to come in to get do their business.
from the outside to get inside. 10 minutes.
10 minutes, that's.
Kinda like Texas Roadhouse.
Some of them have been here at 8 o'clock to go
Wait
to
for
the
that,
treasurer's
wait for
office.
that,
Table to open up, yeah.
them rolls.
Okay, well, let's monitor it for another week then,
Yeah.
and now see what's going on. Terry, you notice anything else? You guys did a good job putting signs around, I mean, it's pretty clear to.
Yeah, very good on the signage, and Ron and everybody, thanks for all the extra work that you're having to do on this. I know this is a bear on everybody, so.
Mr. Roby yesterday was a cleanup and wipe down.
No,
But plenty of supplies for the, office workers.
There
to
is.
Wipe down.
and they're kinda taking care of their own counters and stuff throughout the day.
And you know, you've been stressing the patience of the public throughout this, so
So we wanna thank the public
We
too
really
for
appreciate
their
their-
continued patience.
they're understanding.
Splash guards working okay, or do we need more?
I'm gonna talk to you about ordering more for
Okay.
election. I thought I would wait, but I also thought, well, if they get too backed up, I might not have them if I wait. So, thinking whatever you guys think on that.
Sneeze guards, what do you want to call
I think.
Yeah,
you
we
get
can talk
what
about
you
that.
need to get.
Social distancing guards.
them? There you go.
Anything else, Ron?
Nope, that's all I have.
Thanks, Ron.
I'll get some more quotes on this.
Give us a buzz.
Okay, thank you.
Terry, you got anything you wanna inject along here, about any of that?
No, not about.
Was you able to take care of Kurt yesterday? I sent him to you about that certificate or what we needed for.
Yeah, he got everything handled for him, it's gonna be a little process for him to get it straightened out, but
Okay, but you got him on the right path. huh?
Yep.
Mitch, you ready?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Got dust control stuff going on, we got them all in, there's 31 of them so far. So, that's,
When's your deadline?
was Friday,
Was Friday?
yeah, so 31 is what we have right now.
Of course, you know, they always go past.
Well,
the
there'll probably
deadline.
be a day or two, we'll probably get another one or two.
What's
Well,
your
that's
normal amount?
Well, it's been, it used to be up there around 100 or
Yeah.
something, but then it went down to 78, 80, now it's down to, but some of it's still, cause the windmill people still have some of the roads up there yet, so. That's, there'll probably be a few more then, and once they all get done up there
Or
north.
can we give them a grace period of a few more days?
Yeah,
We normally do, we kinda got that in there, so. Most of them are pretty,
Until I called and made the order and reserved the material, I would kinda try to flex a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, but once I make that call, it's too late.
yeah, so, and we called a lot of them too,
Yeah.
and sent stuff out to them, so.
Past customers,
Yeah.
remind them.
And it was in the paper and all that good stuff and the radio, so. All
What's
that part.
going on?
We had all that storm damage, they're out picking up limbs and stuff, they
I
were
saw
out
them
Sunday,
yesterday- Saw them yesterday.
they were out Sunday working, so.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how many do you have out Sunday?
Like eight people,
Mainly blades? or-
blades, and then I had the road
Chainsaw.
foreman guy out there, and then the assigned guys cutting trees down and getting them off the road.
Everybody kinda, cause you guys are probably.
They pulled some
involved
off the
in
road
too.
for us too and stuff, so that helped us, so.
Yeah,
They were out there pulling some of them little ones off,
I
so.
saw your people out yesterday.
And then we fixed the guardrail yesterday north of town where they had an accident there, they took like 300 foot of that guardrail out, we fixed it.
Just north of here.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Past
thought
already.
they cleaned up trees, I saw. the
No,
sign.
the guardrail was
You know,
gone, they
when I
wiped the whole
I saw the
guardrail.
signs and flashing lights, I did detour around that.
Yeah,
You know,
so,
so,
yeah, we had flaggers and everything there, so they got that fixed yesterday.
good.
In the rain in the storm stuff in between, but they got that put back
Not
out,
in
so.
the hail out.
Well, now they got in the vehicles, so, before that came, so.
Any other,
No structural damage Sunday to any of our property or anything.
No, we just got a little damage from the hail yesterday on some vehicles, but other than that, so,
my vehicle set out, but my backhoe was put inside.
But so your vehicle's got it, so, yeah, so that's what we've been doing, they're picking up brush today and stuff like that, so.
You gonna be around for a little bit?
Yep,
I'll pop
sure,
back to you.
that's all I have really,
Okay.
so.
All right. Now, people are always asking questions, and Mitch, they do this, I try to refer them to you, but a lot of times they would rather talk to one of us. Came up, I had a phone call the other day, and I asked Roy about this earlier. After hours, you call the sheriff department, no one's there, it rings how many times, and then it goes to dispatch? 4 or 5 times maybe?
Yes.
Okay, so it goes to dispatch. I did ask him, the other question was asking me was it, does their number transfer over? You seem to think it probably does.
Yes.
For some reason, this resident had some concerns about it. I said, call them, they're at work today. No, that was on Sunday they called me, so I couldn't call you that day, but I said, call them, you know, and ask them, I'd rather they go to you directly, they get a second hand from me. The other question, Roy, and I don't know where this comes, I got hit at Walmart about this, so just humor me. Prisoners, do you have lots of prisoners down there right now? More than normal, about the same,
No, we are down,
down?
and we've been down since the COVID stuff
That
started.
was the other question they asked me, so again, humor me. Are we still taking prisoners from out county?
No,
We stopped that before this hit, or you stopped it after it hit?
Bill, my best recollection date was March 12th,
Okay,
is the day that we stopped.
okay, once this is over, are we gonna pick it back up, or we're just done taking prisoners from other areas?
We we
Okay, you'll
will
pick it back up.
eventually,
Okay, well, and the reason, and again, this person was concerned about finance, and we're gonna get into that in a minute. $200,000 a year roughly we pay on that bond, we got, what, Sherry, 2 or 3 more years to pay on it.
For
So-
2023.
I've seen a number somewhere, and I'm just, so this person must be paying more attention than I thought, I didn't really notice those numbers. But I told him, I said, call the sheriff's department, ask them these questions. But after this is over, you think you'll start taking prisoners, I can see you not doing it right now. Another thing, does our health department nurse pop in there once in a while? Did they?
Brian's been on, phone conference calls.
Well, I serve on the health department board, and I thought they told me that occasionally they have to pop over to see a prisoner about some kind of a health issue or something. True?
Yes, we still have that is still going on
Okay.
2 times a week,
We get billed by the clinic.
Okay.
on Tuesday and
They
Thursday.
don't do that for free? Joking.
Yes, on Tuesdays and
Okay,
Thursdays,
so
Ben Smith is still
I'm
coming
concerned about the health of
and seeing.
the prisoners right now, you know, so I said, call, talk. Okay. I think that's all I had, so you think you will start taking?
We are meeting their needs.
Okay, I guess that's what we're looking for. So, one more thing, I got a call this morning. They know that the county's looking for a tower to put south of La Harpe for the sheriff thing. For these windmill thing, before they came in here, they set some towers up out there to gauge the wind speed and stuff. One of those towers is about 300 feet tall roughly, and they're taking it down, they'll probably get it down for the cost of scrap. I told them to call the sheriff, don't know if they called your office this morning, I guess the sheriff's not in, but, I might give you the guy's name after a while or something, maybe somebody wanna make contact with him, that might be an option. It was 300 feet tall, and a guy could get it for nearly scrap, you could afford to pay somebody to go take it down. Would you be interested in making a call to this guy?
Sure, I'll get
Okay.
the number and
I'll
everything.
give you the number here in a little bit.
That's a great idea.
Okay,
Check into that.
so, does anyone else have any questions along that line? Glad to see you, Jerry, will ask you some questions. Anything else for Roy, or?
Hey, Bob, have you gotten anything back on the numbers on the tower?
6 of the 7 contractors we sent out are interested.
Okay. No, but no numbers yet?
We haven't asked for
Okay.
it. We just sent out a letter of interest and 6 of them would like to. I thought if you wanted to move forward at some point, we'd have a pre-bid meeting and
Well,
they can all show up.
six possible bidders, that's very good, so,
Okay.
yeah, but.
You know, right now, one more quick thing, revenue coming in, that's another reason I brought some of this up. You know, is our revenue gonna be down, is our projected revenue gonna be down, you think, because of what's going on here? Guys, just because we have money in your budget doesn't mean there's cash there to support that budget either, you know, some of them work out of the general fund. Well, there's quite a bit of money in the general fund, but Sherry, cash flow is gonna affect that. I mean, what happens if the cash flows down? Mitch, for example, that, you operate on a cash
Be in
budget.
violation, we run out of
So,
cash.
do what?
We'll be in violation if you run out of cash.
So I'm just trying to urge everybody, that we might wanna be, slow roll things a little bit like the, storm shelters. And I think we should do that, but I think we ought to hold off just a little bit.
There's a grant that will open up in September
Yeah,
from FEMA. It's called, used to be pre-disaster mitigation, now they call it BRIC. But, it'll start in September, which wouldn't do nothing for this year
Yeah.
for shelters, but possibly next year.
Yeah.
And it'd be big enough
So-
that you
so-
could possibly fund 3 of them.
so let's maybe we just slow up on that a little bit and try to pick that grant up, but I just think we need to be a little bit cautious. We still need to conduct business, we still need to take care of things, but if our revenue slows up, doesn't come in, you know, just because you've got $1 million budget, you might not get that much cash come in. We just need to be cautious, still do what we need to do. Once you start bringing in $20,000 tankers, bitch, it don't take long to go through a ton of money.
Yeah, go quick.
You just need to watch your cash
And that's,
flow.
probably something we need to be thinking about on budget discussions.
I'm just urging it, throwing it out there now for you guys to think about.
I'm of the, thought that we probably ought to consider asking for budgets to remain the same,
Well, I think you're
not knowing what the revenues will be.
hoping that we can do that, you know.
Let alone possible, COLA
Yeah.
would.
Let's we'll kind of be
Well,
getting
some
into
of the
this.
budgets are gonna get hit this year because of COVID, because
Yeah,
of
right.
expenses that
Yeah.
we weren't anticipating when we made the budget last year, so.
Right.
Some of those we'll be able to turn in, like for elections, some of that I'll be able to turn in to Secretary of State's office and hopefully get some money, but I'm competing with 104 counties.
Jerry, you talked to Senator Moran yesterday, was there any good news
It was a good conference. There were, several individuals from the area, the city, school districts. Senator Moran was very helpful. I appreciate him having that, video conference with us. I think there was about 30 people on there. I spoke, for a few minutes. He's working really hard. There were so many topics they talked about from the school district, and the city's interest, help with the county, just so many unknowns. Nothing really specific other than, it's good to know Senator Moran's thinking about us. He knows Allen County's here, and, he's, interesting was, he's trying to find a flight back to DC because there are no flights out of Kansas City to DC, so, he's trying to figure out a way to get back, so he can get back to work, so.
Did the governor, did that meeting go on last Friday, or you usually been in contact with phone deal on Friday? You didn't do that last
No,
week?
the governor's office, we did have the White House office, governmental affairs, conference call. Same information, working really hard. It was interesting, the FEMA director was on there, and, we've realized that this weekend, dealing with COVID, we can't forget about we're in severe weather season also,
Yeah.
so we've kinda got two battlefronts here, especially here, as Bruce said, Tornado Alley.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that too. You know, we talk about natural disasters and stuff, and when you mobilize the entire team, but Mitch fights these disasters several times a year. You know, when you got roads washed out, it's not maybe as severe as that, but that was a pretty big deal that came through the other day.
Yeah, 76 mile an hour.
Yeah. Our phone.
Don't knock over a pop machine.
We gotta back up, like, trails can't get it up, so we had.
I tried to, it's pretty heavy.
Pretty heavy.
So that disaster of a smaller scale, but you deal with those all the time. So appreciate what you guys did. Again, I was out and about some too. You see the mud on my truck, no, I was out there. Anything else along this line? Jerry, what you got for us? Just visit?
Just coming in, first thing I wanna say is and I'm sure everybody that works for the county would say this, but from my office, we just wanna thank you, because you see what's going on, people being laid off, and what you were able to do for everybody, but particularly my office, being able to have them shut down, but being able to continue to pay them. I'm very appreciative of that, and my staff is hugely appreciative of that. They're all glad to be back.
Good.
But
Any problems so far? Of course, you guys got a pretty good setup in there,
Yeah,
barrier, the
we've
divider.
got, there's nobody within 6 feet of each other and that type of thing, so.
No problems?
We're good, and really, and I think Roy can attest to this, while some places have had an uptick in crime, I think it's been pretty quiet. Nothing big.
You don't, yeah. Roy doesn't wanna say the Q word, but
Yeah.
I've heard that. I've talked to officers and troopers, and we've been very fortunate, and Allen County's done pretty good.
Well,
And
yeah.
we don't have any cases, knock on wood, and we wanna thank everybody for,
We've had a few major ones, but of course, we don't get that many major ones. We're small enough, but I'll tell you, our problem will be when the courts reopen. We've basically taken all of our criminal dockets, all our misdemeanors, traffic, all of our child needed care cases, all of our felonies for March and April, and stuck them in June and July and August.
and Jerry, we got something from district court, I think it was from Dina, Jerry or Bob. Can you update us on their timeline?
Well, what they're planning on doing, and I don't have it memorized yet, but basically Judge Kreitz and all the other judges in the district have been working on trying to set up basically Zoom court, where I can sit anywhere, and if you guys have been on Zoom meetings, so you know how they work, and we can have me, the judge, a defense attorney. I don't know how we're gonna get the defendants, but next week, we're gonna start launching that. And it's gonna be all non-evidentiary hearings. In other words, it'll be status hearings, it'll be anything that we've worked out, nothing where I would have to call a witness to the stand. And then we're gonna start that, basically, we're gonna continue that through the month of May. Then I think once June starts, I can't remember if he's gonna have limited, of course, they're still dealing with what the Supreme Court tells them as far as opening the courts. So I think we're hoping by June we can have some limited in-person dockets with a lot of social distancing. So in other words, if you've ever been to a Monday felony docket, then why the hell would you? But, because they're not that exciting usually, but, you know, you have 7 or 8 attorneys, 20, 30 defendants, and they're all in there. So we're trying, Judge Kreitz is trying to work out a way where maybe he's in there, I'm in there, one attorney comes in with one client, that client leaves, the other client comes back, the next client comes in. When that attorney's done with his cases, another attorney comes in, and just trying to keep the social distancing. I don't know, the way Judge Kreitz is talking, maybe, you know, through the summer. So our big thing is eventually, probably in the fall, and knock on wood, we don't have another upsurge where we're shut down again, but we're gonna have some, it's gonna be pretty busy, I think, in the fall, so. But what I've done in the last 5 or 6 weeks is I've spent a lot of time on the phone with a lot of the defense attorneys saying, look, give me a list of your cases, let's see what we can, you and I can agree on some plea deals and things like that, so when we get back, we can just start knocking them off like that. So anyway, that's what we're doing, but again, just greatly appreciate what you all have been able to do for my staff and being able to pay them, it's just, it means a lot.
Jerry, when you're talking about, pushing everything that would have taken place March, April, to May, to June and July and on. And I really, you know, appreciated what Bill was talking about, everybody being mindful of just the economic realities and how this has affected every level of government, but also our citizens too. So the way we're gonna be able to react at budget time is probably tighten our belt, you know?
Sure.
Are you able to shift expenses along with shifting the workload, or?
No. Well, our
Is there also some relief coming for courts like there has been for other entities?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
You know, my office's expenses are fairly static.
Okay.
Whether I go to court or not, the only expenses you have, if we have jury trials and things like that, and witness fees and that type of thing. But, you know, me going to court or not going to court doesn't cost any more or less, you know.
Good.
So, but I can say this, I haven't talked to Sherry about it yet. One of my staff is gonna retire here in the next couple months, and we've got one part-time that we're gonna flip to full-time, and I think one of the things for us is probably, especially because we tighten our belt, is then I probably won't fill that part-time for a while.
Good.
I appreciate that, maybe at least for a while.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of see how things are gonna play out.
Good idea.
And that's my thought, we'll be able to help a little bit that way.
That's what everybody just needs to take a look at, you know, just
Yeah.
let's kind of see where things are gonna be. Don't want to panic. There's no hysteria. There's no cause for alarm yet, but we just want to make sure that it stays that way.
Yeah.
Okay?
The only other thing I could say, my wife's making masks, if anybody wants, she'll make some for you,
Great.
you know. She thinks I'm wearing it all the time.
All right. Anything
We'll
else?
tell her you are.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
That's a good color
You're
on
on
you.
camera, so she's gonna know you're not.
She's not watching.
Sherry, anything for us?
Actually, yes, I kind of wanted to talk to you about possibly keeping the senior centers closed down to June 1st. Just to see how things go, and then start opening them back up if we haven't had, with everyone getting out now, if any cases come up, we ought to know by then, I guess, cause I still wanna keep them safe.
Okay, you need a motion or just
I just wanted
I think
to know
that's
that
a
you
reasonable approach.
kinda,
Bruce thinks okay? I think that's
Okay.
reasonable.
Yeah, we'll take that week by week, Sherry, how's that until June, see how things change, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
Just that I was gonna let you know the sales tax, the first quarter come in at $182,000, which is about, 50,000 over what would be if you split if you take what's budgeted, the 520,000 for just the general funds, all I'm talking. If you take that and divide it by 4, you'd come up with 130,000. And so it's 50 over that, so who knows what the second quarter's gonna do, but
Yeah.
that might help even it out a little bit, yeah. Anyway,
Well,
just
we
thought
can-
you might wanna know that.
We can hope so.
And you'll have the second quarter, what'd you say, August?
Yeah.
Right, cause the first quarter, or the second quarter will end the end of June, then you go the 1 month, and then you usually get it. in
So
the-
we won't know second quarter until probably after we've pretty much hammered down the budget request, so
It'll be close,
we're
it'll
gonna
be close.
ask everyone to be frugal, to say the
So,
least.
so you're in the, queue for the barriers for election places, or do we need to?
I would like to
Maybe some
order,
money
I would
for
like to
those.
order some more of the social distancing guards. Try to be
Sounds better, flashcards, huh?
It does, but anyway, yeah, that sounds kinda gross, but, anyway, I would like to go ahead and order those, just to make sure that I can get them come for the election
How
in
many are you
August.
thinking?
I was gonna order another 24, just what we had got, and actually, I think, Ron's not in here, but I think we've already gone through those. Extension has actually claimed 3 of them. Jamie ended up with, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think she ended up with 4 in her office. Cause some of the desks are close enough that she's putting them in between those instead of rearranging the office. We have just 2 in our office right now because we have it stationed off that we can only take 2 people.
We should probably order them while we can get them.
That's what I was wondering.
So I'll make a motion to, approve a duplicate order for the previous
Second.
shield.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mitch, anything else? Paul, you got anything you wanna share with us?
Nothing, thank you, nothing, no.
Okay, Roy?
I think we've talked about
You
it.
good? Well, appreciate you answering some of these questions, maybe for some of the public, stuff. They're just curious and had some things they want, and I try to refer them to you, sometimes, sometimes I call and they won't, but, Nick, you got anything? Terry, anything else?
They're insulating at Moran today,
Great,
probably start sheet rock week after next.
I saw a driveway with, or the,
Yeah, the concrete out on the highway's all done, so the cones and traffic control can be picked up sometime.
I saw on Facebook, or somebody posted pictures of that area of a roof off of a, looked like a fairly new building, oh shoot, there went our roof, and we're not even done yet, so it wasn't us, right?
Any guess on opening, Barry, on either one of them, or the?
Humboldt, he's gonna try to get there Thursday to do the final cleaning and go through, make a punch list. And once he's done going through and fixing everything that he finds, we'll go down and meet with him with the architect and go through the building again and look for anything, and then after that,
So maybe sometime in May for Humboldt?
hopefully, need to get the,
We'll have a grand opening down there then.
have to get the radio.
And then maybe,
For the radio, things like that.
Maybe June for Moran? Or are they a little farther?
Oh, no,
July?
it'd be week after next before they even start putting sheet rock up, so yeah, probably a little later than that.
Fire barn done, north of town?
I'm not sure, I didn't
Parking
get
lot's
back
not
up
done
to
yet.
that.
Yeah, parking
Still
lot.
haven't been able to finish the.
It's got
door.
rained on us, we haven't located, we're gonna dig a little more, put some rock there, but. there's-
Getting close though?
Yeah, there's a gas line about 2 inches below the ground there, so it's a little, you're probably gonna have a little hump in there, cause we can't
What do you
do
got,
anything
Terry?
with
I
that.
was just gonna say, I haven't received a bill for the last payment, so, and once it's done, they're supposed to get that, so I haven't issued
So
anything
we
for
have got the
that.
last payment. Okay. I see the Humboldt, not the Humboldt, the Harp has started too, the fire
On
barn,
the
that
concrete,
extension.
yeah.
So they hit you for some money on that yet?
They did, yes.
Okay.
We spent that a couple weeks ago, went and drove by that
Yeah.
station and then
Looks
started to go up.
good. So what do you got for us?
Oh, I was just gonna ask if you wouldn't mind thinking out loud for just a moment about the governor's reopening plan, the stage plan, like, I mean, it seemed to me like it was measured and well articulated and everything, and I was just curious, like, from your end at the county level, does that really help create a clear vision? I mean, do you already have a plan in place for how that Astor plan then translates for Allen County? And, you know, have you had those conversations as to what that stage reopening looks like, or just anything of that nature?
I think we have, that phone call with Rebecca last week for me was getting information and laying the foundation for the phase-in, and I think we're right on track.
No, from a economic standpoint, anything short, it is my opinion, anything short of a stay-at-home order, which the governor allowed to expire, we've gotta get back to business. And while still incorporating the social distancing, limiting movement, and all those, the whole list of things that we're all trying to do, we've gotta get the world turning again. So, I think we've got a good start with the courthouse open, and things are going smooth, we're not having a stampede, so we thank the public for that. And we'll probably continue as is until we can start doing maybe a little bit more, but still using all the guarded measures that we've been doing.
You know, in some county operations didn't stop or weren't able to pause, the sheriff's department wasn't, public works department people, there was no changes there, so we had to keep those moving. As far as the rest, I think that it's gonna come along kinda like the governor, kinda like, Becky proposed, you know, so. Bob, you got anything else for, you got anything for us, you got executive session?
No, just, we have a couple right of ways that Evergy sent, they're moving their poles at the, out by the airport, I think 6 feet to the south. Mitch and I have talked to them.
We're moving on, onto the airport property, 6 feet.
They're gonna take about, a little under 2 total acres and pay around $5,000 in damages, so I recommend that you sign off on that. It's
How many
pretty
signatures?
standard.
One signature, two?
Just one.
Just a easement
Yeah,
for everything.
Okay, one motion, two.
I'll motion to approve that.
Oh, second.
Chairman's signature.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, you have them today, I'll sign for you.
Yeah, I think I emailed them, but I have them here.
Okay, I'll sign them before we leave. Anything else?
No.
Gary,
Thanks, Mark.
anything else to add, contribute? Bruce?
I do have an executive session I'd like for personnel, and we can do it in 5 minutes with the counselor,
For, non-elected?
non-elected personnel.
Well, can we make it 10 minutes, I have.
You know
something
what,
to bring
it
up
better
too.
be, let's do it trade secrets.
Okay, well, I need to I want to talk about personnel issue too, so if we'll come out and then do that for a few minutes.
Yours would be non-elected personnel.
Okay, all right.
So how about, 15 minutes of non-elected?
Take your own.
I'll make a motion for 15 minutes. What, nothing else? Motion for 15 minutes, non-elected personnel, commissioners and council?
All in favor?
Thank you. Everybody?
We should be.
Folks that are being dealt.
All right. Sherry, any, I'm sorry.
Just like matches.
Anything on the agenda for next week? Yep.
Yes, I have, EMS will be coming in at 8:30. I sent you
Okay.
guys a quarterly report,
Yep,
and then
we're
I've
good.
got it, I think, in the folder there. They'll be in to discuss that with you next week at 8:30, and then Mitch at, 8:45.
And you need 30 for what?
For next week.
What do you have next week, next?
I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay.
It's your normal.
When are we,
Just normal stuff.
when's budgets?
I have asked
On
the
the calendar.
department heads to have them out, I think on the 15th
May
or
15th.
something
15th of what?
of May.
Oh, really? That's quick.
Well, normally I have them in the 1st of May, but because I didn't get them out until, because of everything going on, I didn't get them out
Well,
as soon,
so they'll be working on the next 2 weeks.
they are working on
I
it
would
now.
suggest, Mr. Chairman, if we have a directive to the department heads as far as budget limitations, I think we ought to, all of
Help
us
them out.
together, or chairman send out information, or have Sherry pass it on what we would like to see. I would like to see, with the situation we're in, an unexpected future, budgets to remain flat, and if there's an increase, that department head
Has to be justified.
justify that. Other than COLA increase, and we can discuss that separately as far as, pay, cause we still talk about, paying good people good wages, so.
Okay.
So you made that a motion, or are you just talking?
I'm just talking as far
Yeah,
as,
it probably doesn't have to be a
No,
motion until you
just-
accept the budget.
that's my
I
recommendation,
think
we'll let,
we're on agreement though.
Okay,
In Congress, they say, I associate myself with those remarks, so I will do that.
Okay,
so I would like to just have us have a
Not that that
consensus
was
that we
just the
urge
intent.
department heads, so.
well, we're gonna have a pretty
I would associate.
light meeting next week. Do we
If it
want to
pleases the court.
Bring some of the department heads in, do we need a briefing on emergency management, what's going on here about, what, should we have
do you,
him come and visit with us?
do you want me to have the department heads come in and just hear it right from you guys? I mean,
Might not
I
hurt to
think
have
they're
a
always
copy
happy
and-
to come see you
and
guys. I mean, I don't know
kinda
many
brings
of
up
them
to
that.
brings up to speed on what's going on, you
Okay.
know, with things, the emergency management person, this, I don't know, this one,
Do you-
Well, if, how about this suggestion, if Sherry, if you send that information out and offer that if any department head would like to discuss it or talk about it, I mean, they're all welcome at any week, they know they're
Do
all
you want
welcome.
me, do you want me to say maybe like 8:45, commissioners will be discussing 2021 budget? If you've got any questions or concerns,
I
come,
think I don't think we have to be that,
don't have to do that,
they,
okay,
they're welcome to show up and discuss
okay.
any, if they have other, suggestions, but
Yeah.
that's the way I'd like to see it.
Yeah,
Mitch is here,
something
Mitch, you got any? I know we gotta do what we gotta do, but
Mainly only on my projects, a little bit of tire prices are up right now, so that might just change it here.
well, and that's a justification right there. If you need so many tires and prices are up a little bit, that's, there's nothing we can't control that.
Okay. I don't think they're from come talk to us.
Speaking of that, that's one of the things that Senator Moran brought up. We talked about, the PPP grants, the small business grants, they're all working very hard to get that assistance out. He did talk about, discussions about county and city governments, especially small governments that may need assistance. I told him that we were fortunate. They discussed the hospital a little bit. We're fortunate that we are partnering with such a large health system. I think we're very lucky. Hopefully that gets done soon, and then, that's one of the reasons, I think, personally, that I thought we did that, was to partner with so we have that stability, of funds, a large partner, and the same reason we have a capital outlay fund for a worst case scenario. And we're seeing that
I
to
was
some
gonna say,
extent.
I've been coding some of the stuff that's been coming in for COVID out of security, kinda to help track it.
Cause there may be funds for that, we don't know, there might be.
Right, well, I know there will be from the Secretary of State's office, but how much is a very good
And
question.
whether we have FEMA funds or whatever down the road, we just don't know, but being able to track that is very good.
Part of that, emergency declaration is exactly for that.
Exactly
We
right.
can buy technology for Zoom meetings or.
Our splash
Cleaning
guards might be
supplies,
covered, you don't, you just don't
Well,
know.
now, anything that I don't code, I don't know what they're coding,
And you are doing those splash guards.
yes.
Great.
What'd you call those?
Social distancing guards.
Sneeze guards.
Yeah. I think that's a mainstay for the future, foreseeable
That's
future.
Okay. Bob, you had something I need to sign, right?
I have
Sure,
it.
You have it, okay.
Is there 3 of them, right?
I think so.
I tried to kinda turn them so that
You could email them to me after he signs them, then I can get them.
you want them emailed or you actually want the hard copy?
I'll either, just I'll come back to you, okay?
Okay, I'll email them to you.
Was that separate for the land, for the,
He's gonna do with him directly.
okay, so this is ours, okay.
4,700.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, something else, Sherry,
No, I think I'm
you
good.
done? Everybody else good with this?
I'm good.
Entertained a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks, everybody.